I'm a professor of public archaeology. I specialise in the ways in which archaeology can benefit the public. And in this context, I'm also speaking as a trustee of Waterloo Uncovered, which is a major archaeological project conducted in Belgium by my colleagues.
One of the things we are investigating in this episode is the healing and unifying role of cultural heritage, and in particular archaeological heritage. What would you say about that in general?
In general, it's becoming increasingly clear in the UK, but also elsewhere in the world, that people participating in archaeological activity benefit in all sorts of ways from the process of actually carrying out excavation, recording and interpreting material in a way that exercises their minds and their bodies and gives them something which gives them something to think about and to develop in their own right. In this country, well-being is something that is increasingly recognised as saving money, because if we keep people feeling well and engaged, they cost medicine less in terms of the national economy.
When we are talking about in a more traumatic situations, like post-conflict situations, which is engaging heritage specialists a lot in these days, the project that you had just mentioned seems as a specific function with military personnel. So could you tell us about the Waterloo Uncovered project?
Yeah. Waterloo Uncovered is a project which aims to excavate professionally using soldiers who are veterans, who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, or indeed who have been disabled during conflict. The project is aimed at excavating one of the most famous European battle sites. The battle was in 1815. In a Turkish context, for example, it's as famous as Gallipoli is in Britain, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
What we do is we're taking soldiers who have had incredible stress, or still suffering from stress, or who have been disabled and are looking for something to make their lives more fulfilling, to get them back into society. What we're doing is we're involving them in the whole of the archaeological process, excavation, finds recording, interpretation, and everything else. And as a result, what we're finding is many of them become much more engaged, and are actually, some of them, having been veterans, having been invalided out, are now actually becoming archaeologists. And this whole argument about being involved with archaeology, actually looking at previous sites and involving those people who have been mentally or physically damaged, gives them a real purpose in life and actually gets them back into society. So in that sense, the process of excavating a battlefield, and it could be any battlefield, with those disabled soldiers, gives them a whole new meaning to living.
Could you think that this could be an applicable model in some of the war-torn countries in the coming years?
Oh, I believe that's totally likely. We started off at Waterloo just because it's a very famous site. And I should make it clear, we're discovering new material. This is not amateur archaeology. This is fully professionally supervised. But the model, I believe, can be transferred anywhere in the world. To look at old battle sites, to look at the archaeology, to examine, reinterpret and understand the past and bring everybody together. So in that sense, yes.
Yes. And being a soldier plays a special part in this project because they are excavating a battle site.
And because it's a very famous site. So most, in this case, for example, most British regiments today would have had forebears fighting at Waterloo. So they have a historical link as well. Most of them will have fought in modern war, and they'll be going back and looking at that whole process of being involved in the past and understanding it better and also understanding the nature of conflict. So the model, I believe, is transferable virtually anywhere. But in our case, it's particularly to help veterans who've already fought and been damaged.
Thank you very much for this all information.
It's a pleasure.